Should university education be free for everyone? The idea that university education ought to be entirely free for every student is a topic that ignites passionate debate and captures the aspirations of many for a more equitable society. While the dream of making higher learning accessible to everyone without the barrier of cost is certainly appealing and could indeed unlock a cascade of societal benefits, I believe there are also very serious practical and financial problems that we must consider carefully before such a sweeping policy could be implemented effectively. On one hand, the arguments for providing university education free of charge are compelling and rooted in principles of fairness and opportunity. Imagine a situation where exceptionally bright students from less affluent backgrounds who might otherwise be deterred not just by the fees themselves, but by the daunting prospect of accumulating massive debt, are no longer blocked from pursuing their academic dreams. This would mean that an individual's inherent talent and intellectual curiosity, rather than their family's financial standing, become the primary determinants of who gets to study at a higher level. Such a system could significantly diversify the student population, bringing fresh perspectives and experiences into academic discourse. Consequently, this could lead to a more skilled, innovative, and knowledgeable workforce overall, which in turn could substantially boost a country's economic productivity and foster a culture that encourages new ideas, groundbreaking research, and vital inventions that can solve pressing societal problems. Furthermore, students would graduate without the crushing weight of student debt. This newfound financial freedom would allow them to make career choices based on their genuine passions and potential for a societal contribution, rather than being forced to chase the highest salary merely to service loans. This could lead to a much-needed influx of talented individuals into essential, yet often underpaid professions, such as teaching, nursing, scientific research, or pioneering social work, all of which are crucial for a well-functioning community. However, on the other hand, the question of who would actually bear the financial burden for this free education presents a major and complex challenge. Running universities, covering the salaries of professors and support staff, maintaining and upgrading buildings, providing state-of-the-art resources like libraries, laboratories, and technology costs a huge amount of money annually. If students do not pay tuition fees, then this substantial sum must inevitably come from somewhere else, most likely from central government funds, which are primarily derived from general taxation. This means that the financial burden would shift to all taxpayers, including those who choose not to attend university, those whose children pursue vocational paths, or even those who have already paid for their own or their children's higher education. Some would understandably argue that this is an inequitable distribution of costs, especially if they perceive little direct personal benefit from the increased public expenditure. Additionally, there is a legitimate concern that if university education is entirely free and universally accessible, its perceived value might diminish in the eyes of some. When something is obtained without direct personal or familial financial investment, there's a risk that it might not be taken as seriously, potentially leading to higher dropout rates or a less committed student body. Overcrowding in lecture halls, strained resources such as libraries and laboratories, and an unfavorable student-to-teacher ratio leading to less individual attention are also realistic worries if funding cannot adequately keep pace with the potential surge in demand following the removal of fees. The challenge would be to expand access without diluting the quality of the education provided. In conclusion, while the principle of free university education is undoubtedly noble and aligns with the admirable goal of creating a fairer society with enhanced opportunities for all its citizens, the financial and practical difficulties associated with its implementation are substantial and cannot be easily dismissed. A more pragmatic and perhaps sustainable approach might involve exploring various middle ground solutions. These could include heavily subsidized tuition fees to reduce the burden on students, comprehensive means-tested grant systems that target support to those most in need, or the wider adoption of income-contingent loan schemes, where graduates only begin repayments once they are earning a comfortable and stable income. Ultimately, making higher education accessible to as many qualified individuals as possible is a vital goal for any progressive society. But this aspiration must be carefully balanced with ensuring the long-term quality, academic rigor, sustainability, and perceived value of the educational institutions themselves for the benefit of the whole community.